Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD's time to English New Edition. For tonight's headlines, we have the opening of the 7th edition of the International African Textile Exhibition. For the international scene, five Security Council's country called for end to Israeli settlement expansion. Welcome to our newsroom. The 7th edition of the International African Textile Fair opened early this morning at the People's Palace under the aegis of the number one of Djibouti, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh. This international exhibition of African textile, a true Pan-African meeting, has for mission the promotions of the development of the textile made in Africa through the creations of its sector, carrying hope for the African agricultures and other worlds thanks to the valorizations of the wearing of its African traditional fabric. For more detail, with Dini Musa.
The 7th edition of the International Exhibition of African Textile opened early this morning at the People's Palace. Under the auspice of the number one Djibouti, the International Exhibition of African Textile, a true Pan-African appointment, has the mission to promote the development of textile made in Africa through the creation of its sector bearing hope for African agriculture. In other words, through the enhancement of the wearing of its traditional African fabric.
Mama Africa, where you really in it? Sitawa inaga, yeah yeah yeah. I'm in Banahai, yeah 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 yeah. I'm Banahai, yeah 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 yeah. Haku amiru ka aburmaya Afrika waniga iritu waniga ilbahni madiye yeah yeah Afrika I'm in Banahai yeah 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 I'm Banahai yeah 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 Haku amiru ka aburmaya Afrika waniga iritu waniga ilbahni madiye yeah yeah Afrika
Upon his arrival, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, accompanied by the First Lady and President of the National Union of the Djiboutian Women, Mrs. Khadra Mahmoud Haid, was welcomed by the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mr. Mohammed Warsama, and the Commissioner of CETA, Mr. Abdoulaye Mouz. Indeed, the International Exhibition of African Textiles, commonly known as the CETA, is a market of promotion, negotiation, and exchange which brings together on the same space the various professionals of the African clothing textile. This event of Pan-African scope, placed under the aegis of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, was enhanced and effective participation of all the Djiboutian political class, parliamentarians of the National Assembly, several members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of international and Pan-African organizations, members of civil society organizations, but also textile professionals as well as many guests. Today, the African fabric, which carries the cultural and social identity of the African continent, knows immeasurable difficulties, of which the progressive advancement in favor of the competition in a context of globalization, more precisely the textile coming from elsewhere, and its low cost. It is in this context that this 7th edition has given the International Exhibition of African Textiles its international dimension. The actors of the textile sector of the African countries were there to carry high the torch of the products derived from cotton. Cotton, being mainly used in the clothing textile, is the mark of identity.
وسهلا بكم جيبوتي تحييكم أهلا وسهلا بكم جيبوتي تحييكم في النسخة السابعة لعرض القماش الأفريقي في النسخة السابعة لعرض القماش الأفريقي نفخر بقارتنا السمراء وزينا وثقافتنا نفخر بقارتنا السمراء وزينا وثقافتنا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا أهلا وسهلا بكم جيبوتي تحييكم أهلا وسهلا بكم جيبوتي تحييكم في النسخة السابعة لعرض القماش الأفريقي في النسخة السابعة لعرض القماش الأفريقي نفخر بقارتنا السمراء وزينا وثقافتنا نفخر بقارتنا السمراء وزينا وثقافتنا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا ماما أفريكا
We are gathered here today in the People's Palace for the ceremony of CETA, which is the annual African meeting that brings together all the actors of the textile sector, policymakers, academies, makers, actors of the sector, specialized craftsmen, cotton and textile manufacturers, experts of African trade here in Djibouti. It is an event that serves as a showcase for the promotion and enhancement of textiles manufactured on the African continent. As you can see, there are the different stands from different parts of the African continent, such as Burkina Faso, Niger, including us, Djibouti.
This opening ceremony was followed by the parade of participating country. This parade showed a part of the cultural richness of the participating African countries. The participants were very enthusiastic, proud to be Africans and to dress African. They marched to the rhythm of music with African cultural sound and the most beautiful traditional outfit of their country. About 13 countries participated in this parade, all dressed in traditional outfits, the results of cotton processing. They all danced to the rhythm of the music. At the heart of this parade, the traditional African fabric promoting the mixing the African cultural in the art of dress. This parade, which was intended to be very solemn, was rich in color and symbols of an Africa that is moving forward while remaining attached to certain traditional values which drew admiration. It served as a framework for the expressions and enhancement of the artistic clothing and industrial diversity of the countries that make up Africa, all symbolizing the richness of African culture and the importance of the textile product that the organizers of CETA wanted to magnify in front of the People's Palace.
Sake mamwata
tue pas l'amour, maïe. Mais je garde toujours espoir pour un lendemain. La distance ne tue pas l'amour, maïe.
This conference was punctuated by speeches first to the Commissioner of the International African Textile Exhibition, Mr. Abdoulaye Mose, declared that this seventh edition of CETA had a particular Pan-African characteristics. This seventh edition, he added, is in line with the desire to boost the sector that are promising for the economy and jobs. We are already at the international exhibition showing that we are overwhelming the challenges we can talk about. Djibouti grounds during the culture between 10-12 November to face the elite health of creative arts, said product development stitches standards led by the African hero, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, president of Djibouti. At noon and in the evening, he affecting the African public activity. I would like to recognize the good role of President Ismail Omar Guelleh. He is the president of the country, and the people of Africa really recognizes your long-term goals to promote African progress and achieve its people. Your views, President Djibouti presented to become a developing country with a better economy. The African community is today honorable for the development of Djibouti and the selection of Djibouti to hold the 7th Artists of African Technology and Products. Also, challenges in health, COVID-19, I would like to present leadership and people of Djibouti return for organizing and welcome presentations international core with the accelerated industrial production stages through technology, modern technology. Mr. President, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the people of Djibouti for their hospitality.
Le textile. Nous rendons alors hommage à vous et au peuple de Djibouti à travers ce thème TIC, industrie et artisanat. Quelle passerelle pour un essor.
As for the Minister of Tourism and Trade, Mohamed Ouassama Diriye, he emphasized that this 7th edition with its Pan-African allure served as a framework for the expressions and enhancement of the artistic, clothing, and industrial diversities of the country that make up Africa. On behalf of the President of the Republic, the people of Djibouti, and in my name, I would like to welcome to all the different guests who are participating in the country. I would like to welcome you to the Republic of Djibouti for land transfers and meeting. Although the world is stopping COVID-19 influence, your extreme previous statement is a clear indication for Africa's desire to recommend Africa's economy. The president holding the international show is focused on the inspirations of African industry product in the way of India. This international exhibition meets African leaders, businesses, and all parties to consult in the development of creation industry, dress and technology industry. I hope every part will take responsibility for the future of Africa in the technical and arts industries. The welcome and arrangement of these expressions once again demonstrate the commitment of the Republic of Djibouti and its leadership to promote the development of Africa, especially the President of the Republic of Djibouti. This show is an opportunity for the African Universities Department of Different Wealth and Differential Resources in Djibouti to strengthen cooperation and cooperation.
Le président de la République du Djibouti, son Excellence M. Ismaël Omar Guelleh, a voulu impulser non seulement le développement.
Once the parade was over, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, cut the ribbon to officially launch the International African Textile Exhibition and sell at the People's Palace. Each participating country had a stand to showcase its know-how and the diversity of its product. The head of the state and the First Lady visited the different stands where products from various African countries were exhibited. This product, all derived from cotton, came from the Seychelles, Niger, Sierra Leone, Central African Republic, Guinea, Zimbabwe, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, Ghana, Congo, Mali, Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Benin, and Madagascar. During 3 days, buyers and simple admirers will have something to rinse their eyes at the People's Palace. This sales exhibition was held in a professional and friendly atmosphere, highlighting the richness and varieties of African textile. This event, which aims to be a true Pan-African meeting place, has as its mission the promotions of the development of textile made in Africa through the creations of a sector that brings hope to African agriculture. In other words, through the promotions of the traditional African fabric. Today, the African fabric, which carries the cultural social identity of the African continent, knows today innumerable difficulties, of which the progressive abandonment with the profit of the competition is in a context of globalization. More precisely, the textile comes from elsewhere and it's low cost.
maantana tallaabo cusub la qaad ganacsigan kobcee qarada weyn qabanqaabadan carwadani caalamiga fadhigani qurxoone qaybka ah qorshaha horumarkeena loo wada qushuuc ganacsigan kobcee qarada weyn qabanqaabadan carwadani caalamiga fadhigani qurxoone qaybka ah qorshaha horumarkeena loo wada qushuuc hogashaha qaliga obalow helele habku geediga u wado obalow helele qiyastiyo sahanka waan obalow helele qaban muuqda oo hirgalay obalow helele nabadda qarankeena taala dhammaan loo wada qosho.
Listen to the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Umar Gelle.
intaa leeg 28 dowladood ay
It is with undisguised joy that the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, said that the parade of the 7th edition of the International Exhibition of African Textile was under the sign of maturity, consolidation of achievements, and the promotion of a textile sector and jobs for the continent. More than 30 countries have proudly taken part in the 7th edition, he said. It is a great honor that our country has been chosen for this year. It is also sharing of experience. It is up to us to bring together East and West Africa, but also that our people can get closer and know each other. This event that organizers of CETA held its organization in Djibouti and that our government has accompanied is a true cultural event in the Pan-African dynamic. Thus, it should be added further that this meeting around the African textile can be an instrument that of our diplomacy in the service of bringing together the brotherly countries of the continent. These fabrics made in Africa has specified the head of state intended for us African, produced and made always in Africa, value of its port creates employment, but also allow the African economic development.
And now listen to the participant of this great event, Hapon Deka.
You all know Africa has many, many countries. It's a continent. So we have different type of clothing, which includes different type of textile. So we are celebrating that, so we can each and every one of us know the difference and celebrate the difference between all of us. That's what CETA is for. It's to celebrate the difference of African nations and the African textile as itself. So we're here to celebrate with many, many countries and different texture, different types of design, from the brightest to all the African clothes.
So basically, you're here representing Djibouti, as I can see. What did you choose as best of describing us? Like the clothes and everything and the colors. Like, what did you choose? What is that something when you instantly see, you say it's Djibouti?
What you first instantly see, it's what we call dira'. Every single woman living in Djibouti know what dira' means. We are dressed from evening up to morning. So this is our basic dresses. So we're here to celebrate that with a little twist. We have decided to bring, for example, the Afar tradition of Surati into the dir' that we wear every day. We did Lefi Ali, which is also an Afar tradition. The Somali tradition, it's the, what was it? Sorry. We call it Shash Harir, or there was another one I will remember later on. But we brought all that into the basic dress that every single Djiboutian woman wears every day. Yeah, because we have beautiful clothes and a beautiful tradition. A bit different, but almost the same cloth. And we wear the same cloth. So why not take from the basic that someone else introduced us to what we wear every day? So that's what we choose to bring today.
The second session of the steering committee of the Integrated Water Resources Management Project was held yesterday at the Ministry of Agriculture and was chaired by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Ibrahim Elmi Mohamed. The Integrated Water Resources Management Project aims to develop an inclusive approach to support populations in poverty affected by the effects of climate change while creating the basis for sustainable development for integrated water resources management. The project aims to conserve water resources to the maximum extent possible through appropriate demand management and improve the resilience of ecosystems to climate change, as well as to build a capacity of water utilities for effective management of water system. The project will operate in the Auda, Wi'ima, Sadai, Mi'deho, Gobad, and Hanle basins in the regions of Tajara, Obok, and Dekhel, respectively. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Agriculture, Mr. Ibrahim Elmi Mohammed, on the ins and outs of the PGIRF project, said that the Integrated Water Resources Management Project aims to develop an inclusive approaches to support populations in poverty affected by the effects of climate change while creating the basis for sustainable development for integrated water resources management. The project aims to conserve water resources to the maximum extent possible through appropriate demand management and improve the resilience of ecosystems to climate change, as well as to build the capacity of water utilities for effective management of water systems. The Ministry of Environment, in collaboration with the UNODC, organized a sensitization workshop in preparations for the Indicator Framework Implementations Workshop later this month. An international consortium on combating wildlife and forest-related crime has developed an indicator framework that will allow for a rapid assessment of the national response to combating wildlife and forest-related crime. It will also provide a standardized approach to measuring the effectiveness of national law enforcement response. Representative of institutions involved in the fight against wildlife and forestry in our countries participating in the workshop chaired by the Acting Secretary General of the Ministry of Environment, Mr. Adel Hassan. The participants exchanged their respective experience on the fight against wildlife and forest crimes with the participation of the UNODC experts. The Chargé d'Affaires of the Embassy of Kingdom of Morocco in Djibouti, Mr. Mbarek Haddawi, welcomed yesterday in his offices the young trainees of vocational training who will leave for Morocco for a 2-year training in the vocational training centers of OFPPT, the Offices of Vocational Training and Promotions of Work. This young graduate of the ETFP, 13 in number, will join Morocco to prepare a diploma of a specialized technician. The ceremony was also attended by the Director General of the Technical Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Abdul Qadir Hamad, and other executives of the vocational training. As a reminder, these higher education courses in Morocco were made possible thanks to the Ministry of National Education Vocational Training, who has spared no efforts for the realizations of the policy of development of human capital desired by the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh.
Formés et qualifiés au Maroc, c'est là un modèle et un exemple de la coopération fraternelle, la coopération solidaire.
For his part, Mr. Abdul Qadir Hamad expressed his warm thanks to the Kingdom of Morocco for this precious support to MENFOP, and in particular to vocational training, which is a powerful lever in the fight against unemployment and the reinforcement of the employability of Djiboutians youth. Our young technical education graduates will continue to receive quality training in a specialized technical education institutions recognized for its high standing and exceptional performance, said the Director General of the Technical Education and Vocational Training, an enthusiasm shared by the young graduate who insisted on their ambitions to make the most of this training in a technical center whose reputation is well established. For the international scene in Palestine, 5 Security Council countries calls for end to Israeli settlement expansion. 5 UN Security Council member states have called for a halt to Israeli settlement expansions in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. This is according to a statement issued by the representative of France, Estonia, Ireland, Norway, and Albania. The permanent representative of Estonia to the United Nations said that the 5 countries have agreed to issue a statement calling on the government of Israel to halt settlement constructions in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. We reiterate our strong opposition to settlement expansions and affirm that we will not recognize any changes to the pre-1967 borders, including Jerusalem, other than those agreed to the party. He added for his part, Palestine's UN observers Ambassador Riyad Mansour called for the reopening of the U.S. Consulate General in Jerusalem, established in 1844 before its closure by former U.S. President Donald Trump in 2019. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.